the different ways we do fraction to decimal conversions. One of it is finding the factors of the powers of 10, 10, 100, and 1000, because the number, the denominator, is a factor of a power of 10, either 10, 100, or 1000, I can convert it to a decimal easily once I convert the denominator and the numerator correctly. Okay? Because the denominator is a factor of the powers of 10. Okay, we can do it this way. Then we learn about another way we can convert decimals is by the idea of convert fractions to decimal is by what we learned as division of whole numbers, such as this one here, or this one here. Then over here, now we will not choose the method of converting to this, to 100 to 10 to 1000 for questions like this. Why? Simply because these numbers at the denominator can you change them into a denominator of 10, 100, or 1000 easily? Cannot, right? So I can't change 21, the denominator 21 to 100 or 1000. Why? Because there are no, it's not on the factor. It's not a factor, right? So I'll choose the division. Now, why is this a calculator question? Anybody can tell me? But this one you don't need a calculator. Dylan, we are on this page already. Okay, thank you. Now, so for questions like this, I can press the calculator. Remember how we press the calculator? 12 and then the fraction symbol, 13. And I point answer. Just get the fraction. How do I get the decimal? Very good. S to D. And I get this decimal. You realize it's very long. Now, what does this tell me about if I don't have a calculator? What does a long division look like? Yes. Repeating, and very long, right? You get very long and long and long. Whereas for this one, you kind of stop like here, right? So this is a calculator question because it's really a very challenging division. I'll get a number that gets on and on and on. Where do you suggest I stop? Are you sure stop at the second one? At the third one. Why do I want to stop at the third decimal place? Very good. So I can continue. Never mind about how many I can continue, but I must remember to put the dots at the back to show that it is, going on and on and on. Of course, I can copy down the whole string of numbers here, 0.923, 0.769, but not necessary. I can just put dots here. Don't forget the curly symbol. So I need to correct to 2 decimal places. I make sure there is 2 spaces for it. Okay, same for the other one. So 42. And then the denominator is 17. 42, denominator 17. I get a fraction and I change it to a decimal. I will get 2.470 and Okay, it goes on and on. Okay, and then I can run off to 2 and then 2 decimal places. Now, I stop at the third decimal place as suggested, I just need to focus on this one to decide whether is it round up or down. And for this decimal place, to decide whether this one to round up or down. So this one is to be rounded to 0.92. And here it should be 2.47. Okay. Is this difficult? Are you able to do it yourself? So even with this one, the improper fraction, I can do 74 and out of the 15, divide by a 15, get to a decimal. Or you can do 74 divided by 15, as how we learn about whole numbers division. I can do this as well, 74 divided by 15. You'll get me this same fraction. See? 74 divided by 15. Then I change it to a decimal. 4.93333333333. And I just need 4 point and then 2 decimal places. I just look at the third one to get 4.93. So okay so far? It really helps when you have a calculator for some questions, right? Okay, here's another one. 19 divided by 21. And I get 0.904761 and then on. When I go to 0.9, can I just stop at 0.9 then, since it's a 0 anyway? Do I need a 0? What did I say? Correct to how many places? 2 decimal places. So I must see 2 decimal places, even if it's a 0. Because it's round down, right? But even if it's a 0, I must put the 0 there. If I wrote down 0.9, this answer will be wrong. Because how many decimal places it is? It is 2. Okay, very good. You can't be 1. Okay, so far so good. Now, and then you have the whole number. So 5 and shift, and you get 5 and 8, 11. Okay, 5.72727, and then you got 5.73. Is it good? Not really, when you have a problem. Now, the problem becomes complicated when you have a word problem. That's where questions are more, you need to understand why is the calculator helpful at what point, and then which method to choose. So in your review test, some of you really had a bit of a headache. You can't decide which method to choose. Is it I choose the division method, or is it I choose the change the equivalent to the equivalent fraction method? Now, sometimes the decision goes back to what the story is about. You will do the last one yourself? Why is it 5.73? Yep. Yep. So it's above 5. 5 and above, you round up. Now, as you can see, it's worrying because you asked the question about why you round down and round up. That will mean that you've forgotten what rounding is. Means that you have to go back to this and click the pattern, copy form rounding. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the question now. Let's go a little bit faster. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 questions to challenge. We'll do 2 together and then 3 by yourself. How's that? Cool? Okay, let's try. Why don't you take a quick look now and tell me which one you would like me to do with you and which one you want to do by yourself. Take a quick look. 61 and 62. Look through the questions. They are just 1 or 2 sentences, means that they are not exactly the most difficult questions yet. Okay, you see the more difficult questions coming towards at the back, where you really get 1 page per question. Okay, how many for question 4? No, you do question 4 by yourself, is it? Okay. Okay, how about question 5? Feeling good? You think for question 5 you can do by yourself? Okay. All right. Okay, what about 6? You can do by yourself? So easy. Sounds like you're confident, is it? How about question 7? Some help, okay. Question 8. Okay, all right. Let's do 7 and 8 first, okay? Okay, so we have here question 7. Let's read the question as usual. And Gladys bought 1/4 kilogram of red beans and 5/8 kilograms of green beans. Now, the fraction comes together with the unit. Okay, how many kilograms of beans did she buy all together? Give the answer as a decimal. Oh, this phrase here was a little headache for me as well, because some of you, when the question asked in the review test, give your answer as a fraction, you gave it as a decimal. Give your answer as a decimal, you give it as a fraction. I almost fainted as I was marking. And some of you did it despite you underlining and highlighting the word fraction or decimal. Now, okay, so the question asks, you need to find what's all together. So I have got the red beans. Do I have red beans? I have the red beans. Do I have the green beans? I have the green beans. Now, my question asks for all together. Is it difficult to find what's all together? So basically, just put them together. Okay, correct? And let's put them together. Okay, so I have the red beans plus the green beans. That will give me the answer all together, isn't it? Simple, right? So I'll go with 1/4 of a kilogram. Okay, let's just ignore the units first because it's kilogram and kilogram, they're same units, so no conversions needed. And 5/8 kilogram. Okay, now there are a few ways to do this. And one way is like as we say, I convert them to the same denominator to find equivalent fractions. So I can convert 1/4. So 1/4 I can times 2 times 2, I can get 2/8 plus 5/8, right? That get me 7/8, right? So I get 7/8 kilogram. Now, but the question is in decimal. So I have to convert 7/8 to decimal. There are two methods of doing this, right? One method is, times. So I find the equivalent fraction because 8 is a factor of 1,000. Very good. The other method is the long division method, right? So I can choose either to convert it to a decimal with the fraction with the denominator is 1,000, or I can do the long division method like this. 7 divided by 8. Either way works. Okay, for us, I will choose Nosin's idea of doing multiplication to find the equivalent fraction because it's a little bit simpler. Once is a factor of 1,000. So it's a 875. Is this correct? It's not a calculator question, so I should be able to compute this easily, or with some moderate amount of difficulty. So three zeros at the denominator. That means after the decimal point, I have 3 spaces. So 0.875 kilogram is the answer. Now there's another method to do this. Right? Now I have the red beans and I have the green beans. Another way I can do this is from here, I can just convert it to decimal straight away. So from 1/4 plus 5/8, because I'm good with my decimals, I can already tell that 1/4 is 0.25 plus 5/8 I already know 5/8 is 0.625. And is that 625? Yes, and as a result, I can already get 0.875. See, it helps when I memorize times. Ta-da! Now, so it helps if you memorize some very common things on the times table. So for those of you who know square numbers, you must got a bit of bonus for your review test. You are able to identify patterns because you know some numbers. Okay? Okay? Now, because I know 1/8, 0.125, 3/8, 0.375, 5/8, 0.625, 1/4, 0.25. What's half? What's half? 0. Half is the easiest to convert. 0.5. Why? Because I always tell you how to remember half. Remember half a dollar. What's half a dollar? 50 cents. So half 0.5. What about 1/8? Oh, 0.125, right? How about 1/5? 0.2. Why so easy? 20 cents. See? Hunter remembers all his conversion. So perhaps you did pretty well for you. Let's try to show. The thing that the fact that Hunter can say, he can say 1/5 is equals to 0.2 so quickly because it's 20 cents. Okay, now last question before we get going. Okay, so the last one here. So I agreed you'll do the rest on your own, right? 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Anybody else? Everybody need help? 4, 5, and 6. No, I try on your own. Okay. Last one, question 8. So, Ravi had 2. Check my units. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. Okay. Decimal. Yes. Done. Okay. You can choose either method, either this or this. Okay. Annotation done. Fine. Okay. Next one. Ravi had a 2-liter carton of orange juice. 2 liter, that means this carton of orange juice is 2 liters. And he drank 3/4 liter of the juice. Not 3/4 of the juice, 3/4 liter of the orange juice. How many liters of juice were they left? Give your answer as a decimal again. Make sure it's a decimal. Okay, not too bad. The truth is this question is not that difficult because you see liter and liter. The same units are used. Okay? Now it's more difficult when you say if this is just a fraction by itself. That means if the question says he drank 2/4 of these 2 liters, that's where it becomes more difficult. Okay? Now, so in other words, he drank the amount that he has, or minus the drinking, will give you less. Does this equation make sense? All the orange juice minus the bit that he drank, you'll get what he left. So if I check the units, right, you got a 2 liter, a 2 whole liter, minus 3/4 liter. Does it make sense? You should give me an answer that has a liter. Make sense enough? So the units are all tallies. There's no 3/4. Right? Okay, as it tallies, I see I look at the whole, I have a whole. So I can convert this into 1 and 4/4. Anyone? Okay, and I minus 3/4 of a liter. I keep that 1 whole that is still here, and I get 1 liter and 1 whole. Okay. Is that okay? Okay. So I drink a drum a drink. Okay, how do I draw that? How do I draw that? I look like a scary man. Robbie. Okay. Okay, so now I convert this to a decimal. I can times 25 times 25 over 100. So I have a 1.25. Okay, as we said just now, there's one method that is just convert immediately. So likewise, I can also do it the same way here. So in the same way, I could just come here, 2 liter minus 3/4 liter. I can immediately do conversions already. So I can have 2 liter minus 0.75 liter. That means it be 2.00 minus 0.75. We did that before when we were in primary 4. And then just do subtraction, 1.25. Method 2. Check the units. Okay, there are 2 methods here. Can you see I already wrote down the other method as well? Can you understand both methods? Yeah. So one I choose to convert before and one I choose to convert after. So fraction all the way, then I convert. Or I convert independently and deal with decimals. Okay? Either way is a bonus if you are good in both decimal and fraction. Is that okay? Now, please complete the whole worksheet by yourself. Tomorrow we'll start on the new part of fractions. By the end of this week, we must aim to reach quite a bit. But yes, okay. Now, you can give me the first portion of the homework. Okay, that's up to 58. Okay. All right. That means fraction is a division of whole numbers. Is that okay? Okay. All right. I will end here. You stop,